Hi, my name is Robert. Today we'll be talking about replacing the alternator on a 2001 Ford Expedition 5.4 liter V8 engine. I have the Triton 5.4. Biggest concern is you first gotta remove the negative ground. Okay. One thing that we wanted to do first was we wanted to remove this cover here so we could have access to one of our bolts back here. We also took this air intake manifold and we just kind of disconnected it a little bit, kind of folded it over to the right hand side, leaving all my connections intact except for that one. Okay. Now, the big thing with me, which kind of frightens a lot of people, is with these particular alternators is, getting in here, belt tensioner. People are kind of scared about belts. How much tension do I put on it? How tight do I do it? Let me make it simple and easy. This is your belt tensioner. It's spring loaded. Basically use a 1/2 inch ratchet. Once you get your 1/2 inch here, I use the 25 inch breaker bar. Basically moved it to the right. That releases all the tension on the belt. This belt basically has enough slack. You can just slide this over. I see people talking about pulling off the whole belt assembly and everything. Let me just say, I just let mine rest on the bottom there. The diagram is still exact. Basically, when I replace the alternator, I just have to move that belt back up, put the tension bar back in, and then apply my belt. So that was the simple and easy part there. So that kind of fears a lot of people. That saves you 30 minutes right there if you don't have to disassemble the whole belt assembly. Okay, so for the alternator itself, you got 3 bolts here. You have this one here. On the other side, you have the bolt there at the bottom. And you have this third one here at the top, okay? Now the wires, electrical stuff always gets people kind of a little worried. Basically, when you replace your 3 bolts or you take your 3 bolts out, with this air intake here, kind of lifted up and pulled over, there's plenty of room in here to lift that alternator up over these wires, therefore giving you room to remove the ground wire there as well as your 2 connectors. Okay, simple and easy. Now this hose here, I see some people trying to move this bar. I see some people trying to move this hose, disconnect and all that. That is not necessary, especially in the vehicle I had, which was a 5.4 liter V8 2001 Ford Expedition. Now what I did do is I did replace those 3 bolts with my new alternator. Made sure all my connections or the alternator was nice, lined up correctly. Then I reattached all of my wires. I came here to the belt with the 1/2 inch ratchet bar again. It is this piece right here, okay? That is where the ratchet fits in. Again, by moving it to the right, it will allow that belt to be slid up and over this here. Now I've noticed that on the 5.4, apparently there's 2 types of grooves. There's a 6 groove and an 8 groove. This happens to be an 8 groove, so make sure you get the right alternator when you do that. Other than that, simple and easy. After you get all that done, everything looks to be correct. You're going to want to reconnect your negative battery terminal. That's very important. You're going to make sure that when you crank it up, in most cases, people will tell you that the alternator is to charge the battery, but if you've been driving on a bad alternator for a while or your battery's drained, you may want to recharge or trickle charge that battery to get it back up to snuff so it doesn't overload your new alternator you put on there. Okay, so with everything being reconnected, make sure my air intake here was reconnected correctly. Put the cover back on. Make sure my battery's there, ready to crank it up, and hopefully your lights will go off. This was one of the videos I had a hard time finding on YouTube. I did see 2 of them. They made it look a little more complicated than it was, but all in all, start to finish, 45 minutes. Easiest job I think I did on this car. Anyway, if you have any questions, give me a call or send me a note. And hope this video helps. It sure saves a lot of money if you do it yourself. And don't worry, this is a big engine, but you got a lot of space in here for you. Okay. Hope this helps. And if you have any questions, we look forward to it. Thanks.